I love that she sticks with them like no matter what. As a mentor, it's a job to not only teach but to lead and also inspire others. Yo, what's up everybody? It's your boy Don here, your dance mentor, and today we're going to be doing something a little bit different. Today we're going to be reacting, me as a dance mentor, to another dance mentor, in particular Lisa, on the show Youth with You. And this is pretty interesting because I know some of you guys have been requesting me to watch that ever since I've done my Lily film reaction videos. And so I think it's important for me to lay out a little disclaimer. The thing that we have to understand is that everyone has their ways of going about things. There's no best way of teaching. There's no worst way of teaching. And so here, I'm not going to be critiquing her on what she's doing wrong. Maybe I would be just addressing the type of scenario of what kind of situation or actions I would be in if I were in her place. Or maybe I might even praise her for the things that I like. So yeah, just want to put that out there. Okay.
Did you guys practice yesterday? Yeah. Okay, so you guys should go first.
This brings me back to IOI days. Okay, hold on. So I'm very aware of the Mnet evil editing style, and even with just any type of reality or survival show out there, there's always gonna be a editing like effect that kind of enhances a certain scenario or mood, especially with the song or the type of background sound. Like, it already makes Lisa feel intimidating. So I think I might expect some of that. But of course, things could always be out of context.
I don't have any comments. You didn't do this right. All of you. This is so easy. Why can't you just do it right? มันมีความรู้สึกว่าถ้าเราไม่ลงดีเทลตั้งแต่ต้นน่ะเราก็ต้องวนกลับมาซ้อมเหมือนเดิมต้องมานั่งทำดีเทลใหม่เหมือนเดิมทำไมเราไม่ทำดีเทลให้มันดีตั้งแต่แรกไม่ข้ามมันตั้งแต่แรกเราจะได้ไม่ต้องวนกลับมาเราจะได้แค่ซ้อมให้มันเดี๋ยวครับเพราะฉะนั้นเขาต้องดีเทลลิ่งมากกว่านี้ไม่ใช่แบบว่าสักจะทำอะไรก็ได้
I can agree with that to an extent. I'm assuming that all these trainees here aren't the most experienced dancers. Like, I mean, they're not just there to dance, they're also singers. And so it's kind of hard, like, especially if you're working with over 20 plus students and all that stuff, you have to keep an eye on the individual person that you're going to be a mentor to. And I know that this is probably a time-bound show, so most likely these students are going to be overworking themselves, past midnight, over 6-hour rehearsals and all that stuff in order to prep for like the next filming session or whatnot. And so the point I'm trying to make is that there's probably a sense of urgency that people might not know about in a show like this, where things are most likely going to be cutthroat, and that the fact that this is going to be nationalized on television. I understand if Lisa has to become a certain type of mentor in order to establish that urgency, not just within the film production, but also within the students as well, the students, trainees, and all that stuff. So
okay, first one I want to say about the hook. When you put the okay up, hands have to be
being
side of your ear. Have to be always. Have to be.
Okay, I was a little scared because in the beginning she was like, I don't have any comments. Like, why aren't you doing this right? But to see a follow-up with this where she's actually explaining details, it's always important to provide solutions to, whoever you're teaching to. When it comes to constructive criticism, something that I like to do is not just point out like the wrongs or the fault, but always to provide solutions that follow up with that. Like you can't just be like, oh, I don't like how you did this, or this is, you're doing it wrong, do it again, rather than just actually, hey, you're doing this wrong, and I think what you can do to fix that is to fix a certain detail, and she's doing that here. So
Side. Okay?
good. I like that.
And every time that you guys do this, have to be clear all the time. A little bit more side. Side. You too?
Good.
A little bit more side. Yes.
Something I also respect a lot is that she's going side by side with them to go over the movement themselves, rather than being the mentor and staying in front and just watching them do it and just verbally give them constructive criticism, but actually going over the movement by doing it along with the students. That's of course it's an obvious thing, but
One more time.
absolutely necessary as a teacher, especially for dancing.
Next line. What's wrong with you? You danced wrong. I can't see you. Come here. Come here, please. One.
Okay, quick little note. That type of thing, like I feel iffy about, but I'm just thinking like, beyond the context of like this clip, she speaks like 3 different languages. So I'm sure she didn't mean that in that type of tone. And so like, with different languages, like there's different intonations and all that stuff. And so it could come off different. It can come off with a different vibe. But usually in that scenario, I'd be like, hey, you're doing something wrong. Let's do something to fix it. But yeah, again, nothing really absolutely crazy going on here. Like I'm not saying that she's wrong in her way of just saying it, but something to think about.
Okay. One more time. Da, 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 da. One more time. One more time. Did you get it? One more time. She keep messing up. Sorry. You don't have to be sorry to me. You have to be sorry to your friends.
I can understand the pressure too, especially if you're rehearsing and trying to perfect something in front of not only peers but someone you actually look up to. And I'm pretty sure a lot of these trainees look up to Lisa, so it can be super intimidating. And just going back to the idea of urgency, things can domino effect go downhill, and so the pressure can like heighten the mess ups a lot. And I've been there before. Like once you mess up once, you start messing up like crazy. But again, repetition is sometimes that's really what you need to do. We saw Lisa going over the moves with them like slightly before this, like around this section right here.
Okay.
So it's not like she's saying, okay, do it again and do it again. Just keep doing it. But she actually has been like she probably understands the full choreography of given piece. And so, repetition is sometimes you just need to find that within yourself as a trainee.
One more time. Da, 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 da. One more time.
It's not always going to be,
One more time.
spoon feeding you
Did you get it?
by like having the mentor go over the moves with you and stuff like that. But sometimes it's just important to really drill in like certain moves, especially if they're so uncomfortable to do.
One more time.
Repetition is key.
She keep messing up. Sorry. You don't have to be sorry to me. You have to be sorry to your friends. จะไม่ปล่อยผ่านถ้ายังทำไม่ถูก ถ้าคุณทำผิดเพื่อนเขาก็ต้องเต้นใหม่กับคุณเหมือนเดิม Sorry. Sorry.
sound switch,
One more time.
the BGM switch.
5, 6, 7, 8.
It's like more encouraging now.
Go. Okay. From top. 7, 8. ไม่ใจอ่อนค่ะ ไม่ได้ เขาเยอะเกินไป เขาต้องรับได้ค่ะ ไม่งั้นแบบจะปล่อยให้ผ่านๆไปก็แบบมาทำไมทั้งนั้นนะคุณต้องผลักดันตัวเองกว่านี้คุณต้องรู้สึกอยากจะเอาชนะมากกว่านี้มันก็เลยเหมือนสำหรับหนูเหมือนหนูใช้ทริคนี้เป็นเหมือนแบบช่วยให้เขาแคชให้มันเร็วกว่านี้อะไรเงี้ยมันต้องหยุด1 จังหวะค่ะก่อนที่จะไปอ่ะ
Like I love that she sticks with them like no matter what. You know, as a mentor, it's a job to not only teach but to lead and also inspire others. And I think not only like you should be, you know, giving them feedback and what they need to work on, but it's also something like you just have to be there every step of the way and understand that it's not always about you know, being hard on students, but sometimes you just have to show a little bit of empathy. And I can see a little bit of that, like even though she puts on her mentor face is what I would see. Behind all that, she's doing that for a reason, you know, like we're doing that out of her best interest to improve, you know, these trainees and all that stuff. They're students. So that's really important.
Go. Okay, one more time. No, one more time. A class. Rappers, hi. Hi.
我当时感觉紧张啊，林凡、乃万，我们几个就是舞蹈基础弱，一来就唱跳，而且就3天，就是压力非常大，不怎么
Yeah,
记得住动作。
urgency, like 3 days,
You guys practice a lot?
that's a lot.
Yep.
How many hours?
Till 2 a.m. last night.
Okay, cool. So, shall we start?
Okay.
Okay. More
They
feeling.
have different vibes.
More feeling. Smile.
So, as a teacher, I feel like it's always important to not only be good at dancing, but also be good at teaching. And so something you have to understand is how to be clear and very precise with your words. And so in this case, you know, more feeling, like what does that like actually mean? You know, maybe she could have explained that a little bit more. You know, she does say smile. And, you know, I feel like there's also even more behind of what's more feeling. Like, is it the posture that they're working with or having trouble with, or is it just the facial expressions, or is it like the certain type of texture and the certain mood that makes it pop out more, which, you know, projects more into a certain type of emotion? So, you know, there's always going to be a lot of things and a lot of variables to work with and think about as an instructor. And it's important to make that very clear for the students. So smiling is one of them. Is one way to be clear about it, I guess.
Okay. Thank you, you two, for smiling. And I told you to smile. Why don't you smile?
It's the
I told
pressure.
you to smile, but
I
you
don't
just
know.
ignore my word and you just... Even though they told you to smile too.
我还没有记熟动作，很难受。当时我是单独点名。
Okay, so thinking about how that student feels, you know, she says she hasn't remembered all of the movements. And so that leaves me guessing that as she's, you know, rehearsing or performing, all she can think about is the retention behind it and not actually focusing on like her facial awareness. In another case, smiling, I guess, is what she was asked to do. But yeah, I mean, again, like there's always going to be different variables to think about. Like again, like I don't know the context of, like I'm not there, we're not there, but we can only imagine things, right? So
被批评，因为我也没和训练生相处过，就没有想到为什么人学唱跳可以这么快，看一遍就会那种，然后我就一直夹着眼泪了。
สไตล์คุณไม่ใช่สไตล์น่ารักแต่ในเมื่อคุณมาอยู่ในทีมนั้นแล้วอ่ะได้คุณต้องแสดงคอนเซปต์นั้นน่ะ
It's
ทำอะไรไม่ได้
it's important
นอก
too
จากคุณจะ
because
แล้วก็ข้ามมันไปได้
I mean
I'm saying like it's not and it's important for Lisa to, you know, become a strict mentor, especially with the urgency going on within the show. And also like these trainees have to understand, like, you know, there's a certain standard that they're probably working towards. Whether you meet up to that standard, whether you're, you know, catching up with all your performances or your dance choreography or singing, like sometimes you'll struggle and you'll just have to put in more work. That's just what it is. It's cutthroat, I'm sure.
อยากจะบอกว่าทุกคนต้องพุชตัวเองมากกว่านี้เพราะว่าคุณเป็น A อะค่ะคุณจะมาเต้นแบบนี้ไม่ได้อะเพราะว่าทุกคนจะคาดหวังกับคุณมากกว่านี้ next
你看他平时臭脸的人，你看都笑不出来，都使劲笑了。
it's a fake it till you make it kind of thing. This editing, man, is so
我觉得
dramatic.
我还需要付出更多的努力，才更加有留在一班的资格吧。
I love, you know, character development though. It's one of the reasons why I like watching Produce 101.
รู้สึกว่าอันชีทำดีที่สุดค่ะในคลาสนี้อยากให้ทุกคนดูเขาเป็นตัวอย่างไว้นะคะโอเคมีใครคิดว่าตัวเองยังสามารถอยู่ใน A class ต่อไปได้หลังจาก challenge นี้คะ我尽我全力吧ไม่รู้สึกเสียดายหน่อยแล้วคะที่อุตส่าห์มา A แล้วอ่ะไม่รู้สึกอยากอยู่ต่อหรอกรู้สึกว่ามันเป็นแบบ I know it's really hard แต่ในเมื่อคุณมาอยู่ใน A แล้วอ่ะสมควรที่จะทำให้มันคู่ควรที่จะอยู่กับ A อะค่ะ You four
Yeah, y'all worked for it.
if you can't do you can't go home
Okay.
have to make sure everybody can do and do it right
Okay.
Oh, that was nice. Yeah, again, I think overall, like I said in the beginning, everyone has their own ways of, you know, instilling instruction to students. As a dance mentor myself, like I think some of the things I value the most is empathy. It's just really important to connect with students, and sometimes you just have to communicate with, you know, understanding and compassion. And, you know, sometimes like it's important to see things eye to eye. Like you can't always just be a mentor and act like a mentor. You have to be somewhat relatable. You have to, you know, kind of step down to their level a little bit and just, you know, work with them, because it's always, it's not a one-sided thing all the time. There's always going to be a reciprocation, and the recipient is also important as a role. Like it's important to not only, you know, receive constructive feedback, but it's also important to, you know, ask for notes or ask for help. Like don't be afraid to ask those things. Like I guess in this scenario, I can understand how, like I can't understand and imagine how these students would feel. Like they'd probably feel so nervous just meeting Lisa. And so I could understand a little bit if they were to be silent and not be responsive. They're probably just looking at her in awe. But again, like it's important to be comfortable with your mentor and ask for these notes, like ask for help, really, because the reciprocation is also important. But yeah, this was a really fun watch. I enjoyed this a lot. But let me know what you guys thought was unique, I guess, or maybe something I didn't catch given to the type of context that was within this clip. That maybe there's more to see or more that I don't know about. But yeah, thank you guys for watching, and I will see you guys on the next video. So peace out and stay eating.